do you think about the collegiate standard of soccer presently, what you're seeing versus a couple of years ago? You know, what is your personal thought on it now in terms of the direction is going, the level that is being played now at the collegiate level versus maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Do you think it's going in a upward trajectory? Do you think it's going, you know, what is your take on it?
I do. I think so. And I one thing I've always said is that I don't think it depends on the division. It depends upon the program. So for me, you know, I always tell kids, I also teach high school. So I have seniors in high school, and then I also coach at the collegiate level. And I tell them, you want to be a big fish in a little pond. You want to go where you're going to play, because you're only going to get 4 years to play and then it's over, right? Or if you get 4 years to play and then you really make an impact and somebody sees you, you play semi-pro or pro. So I think that for kids who are looking to play, find somewhere where you're going to be able to understand the program and fit into the program. So for example, we as a junior college scrimmage sometimes some Division III schools, and they're a Division III NCAA school and we're an NJCAA school, and we are exponentially better than a Division III school NCAA, and we're a small little junior college. So I think it depends upon the program, not necessarily always, oh, well, I'm playing D1 or I'm playing D2. That to me, it doesn't matter. It depends upon the coach. It depends upon the program. It really, the most important thing, it depends upon if they have your major, because like I said, that piece of paper is so important to have. So you want to make sure that they have what you're interested in. And like I said, soccer is just the cherry on top of playing. So don't get hung up on divisions and it's junior college, it's this, it's that. Just look and research and do your homework on the actual program.
Wonderful, wonderful. Coach Jen, any advice you would want to give to parents who are logged on now, you know, gathering in information? You know, what are some of the things you would like to say to them in terms of getting themselves ready for the kids leaving, and also to how do they deal with this situation? Any advice you would want to pass on to them, knowing that you're coaching at this level with kids and you are seeing this happening at you know, right in front of your eyes? You're seeing it, kids from different areas, and you want to be able to talk to the parents to give them that comfort that, you know, your kid is really going, you know, leaving maybe as a child and returning as a man or a woman.
I know, it's so scary. It's so scary. I apologize to all of you. It's so scary. It really is. It's something that, you know, I'm dreading when I'm my son in the next 4 years. I understand. But the best thing is that I would say just try to your very, very best. Obviously, you're going to be supportive and what your child wants to do. And just, it can be lonely being in college. Like as a college athlete, it can be lonely. So reaching out, making sure you contact. What's so nice now is there's FaceTime, you can Skype, there's all different things that you can do. So that's a really nice platform that a lot of parents have now that, you know, we didn't have back in the day. But, you know, it's tough. It's tough to let them go. But I think if you, I always remember a quote that I read somewhere when my son was really, really little, that you want to give them roots, but you also want to let them have wings to fly, you know? So if you can give them the grounding of their roots, of where they come from and whose family, and I always say, remember whose you are, you know, remember your family, that, you know, but here are your wings. They want to be independent enough to fly on their own. That's a big, big kudos in a parent's cap. And I think a lot of parents do a great job with that. And it's hard sometimes. It really, really is hard sometimes.
Coach Jen, in terms of let's go to the quantity in terms of schools in the US.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
You can talk to that, Coach. You can talk to that. Feel free. You can talk to that, because some, you know, just to get the information across, some kids are getting the feeling, well, it's only 300 schools or something like that. And
oh gosh, no. Thousands.
It's thousands of schools we are talking about here.
Thousands. Yes,
you know,
thousands and thousands. And if you know, if it really depends. I think if I was looking now, this is how I would start. I would start with what I'm really interested in. So for me, I was interested in teaching because my mom was a teacher. So I grew up wanting to be a teacher. So I'd find a school that had a good teaching program. And then I'd do my research about the athletics and about the facilities and about, you know, soccer in general. And then I'd go backwards from there. And then I'd make a list of schools that I want to check out. And you go on the internet, check them all out, go to their virtual tours. I know a ton of schools now are doing virtual tour. And then if you can physically get to that school and, take a look at it, that's even better, because once you get a feel for the campus and a feel for the environment, then you'll kind of know. But you want to go somewhere where they're going to have something you're interested in, especially a major, because like I said, that degree is really, really important. And depending upon how far you want to go. I had the grand idea of wanting to go all the way to California, and then I'm so glad I went to Pennsylvania, because my parents were in New Jersey and they got to see me play every single game I've ever played.
Interesting, interesting, Coach Jen. As we continue this journey to inform and educate and motivate the kids, so they can have that understanding of what's ahead of them. The skies is the limit, and
Absolutely.
and one of the things I'd like you to attest to, because a lot of kids have the feeling that they have to go to start with a university. They have to start at a particular school. Could you speak on that, Coach Jen, so they can have an understanding of basically, what is different roads that they can take to end up at the same destination?
Sure. I mean, personally coaching at a junior colleges are a lot less expensive than a four-year school. So if you are looking to come to the States, and it's something that, finances are a little bit tight, which for all of us, that's a very tough thing. I would suggest a junior college route to start. It's way cheaper than going to a four-year school, or unless you get a scholarship, which is great. If you get a scholarship to a school, that's fantastic. Then you're going to take that opportunity for them to pay for you to come to school and get your degree and play. But the junior college route, there's nothing wrong with that route. It'll save you a ton of money. And then what usually happens at a junior college is you do your general education requirements. So you'll do all your basic English, all your basic math, basic courses that you would have to take at a four-year school anyway. And then once you're 2 years, or if you stay for a year, whatever, it's up to you. You could stay for 1 or 2 years at a junior college. Then you can take that time and all those credits that you have at a junior college and transfer them to a four-year school. So when you go to a four-year school, you're not starting off as a freshman, you're starting off as a junior. So you're pretty much halfway done with your education after you are done with a junior college. So it's economical, financially responsible. And like I said, if you're not getting money on a scholarship, that might be a way to go to save yourself some money. And it all leads to the end. And I say to kids all the time, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? So it doesn't matter where you start, as long as you're starting. That's the biggest key.
And also, to Coach Jen, is very competitive at the junior schools, to the junior colleges.
Absolutely.
Very,
Absolutely.
very competitive.
Yeah,
Yes.
we actually, I would say, to be honest, it's easier to get a national championship at a junior college, because what happens is that when you play in a four-year school, they have brackets and they have different divisions and more teams that they have to play. Where at a junior college, there are not as many levels to get to a national championship. And our men's team at OCC recently just won the national championship a couple seasons ago. And they, it was like the first time in school history, but it was because they had a shorter pathway to get there. So if that's something that is important, I know for me, having a state championship at high school was important to me when I coached. So if that's something important to you as a player, is to win a national championship, to say I was on that stage and played, where I'm going to get looked at to play at the next level. Junior colleges are the way to go with that, because it's not as much red tape to get to that end game.
Give us a guesstimate, Coach. A guesstimate of how much junior colleges you think there's in the U.S. colleges and universities. A guesstimate, just so for an idea, so we can have an idea. Give us a guesstimate.
Right. So depending upon where you go, a lot of four-year schools, if they're private, they're going to have more money to give as scholarships. So what happens in the U.S., a private college will get endowments from people outside the college, and they will give that money to the college for scholarships and for things for athletics, especially if they played athletics in the past. Public colleges don't have as much money to give, but they're not as expensive. So it kind of like balances itself out. Junior colleges are even cheaper. So for example, where I'm at Ocean County College, it costs about $5,000 for a semester of college for a community college. So it's extremely economical. And I know that certain other colleges and public colleges in the area, some of them, I think Rutgers is close to almost 35,000 for the entire year. So you're really saving a ton of money when you start out at a junior college. But Rutgers has more money to give in grants, in financial aid, and things of that nature. So it depends on the numbers. And that's why you really have to do your homework and really know what the school's offering before you get there, because you don't want to be left with a bill, at the end when you're like, oh, I thought it was supposed to be this. I have a former player right now. She's playing down in Kentucky at Kentucky Christian University. And she's getting money to play. And she's also getting money to go to school. And she's paying $1,000 out of her pocket each semester. So $2,000 for the whole year. So she's really, and she's playing at a very high level of soccer, and she did it through the junior college route. So she saved a ton of money doing that. And then she's also getting money, financial aid and grant money through the women's soccer program there.
One of the things to Coach Jen that I try to guide some of the kids on to is the standard of play in college in the US. Versus the standard of play, let's say in the Caribbean region. Being from the Caribbean now in the US, it's too, soccer is soccer, but it's a different level. The collegiate level is very, very high right now. And it's really growing because a lot of these kids that you're looking at here, American citizens, they are looking at the US national teams. A lot of them are very much interested in the Olympic teams and the junior teams. So it's very, very competitive when you leave to come to go to school, and you don't want to leave where you are to come to go to school and you're not a regular on the team.
Right.
Getting yourself that preparation, Coach, if you could talk about that preparation, getting yourself mentally, physically, psychologically ready, to enter school abroad where you could learn, as they say, running.
Yeah, I would
forward.
say the off season is huge for kids who are coming, just kids in general, but kids who are coming from another country. I think the off season, working as hard as you possibly can in the off season to get yourself ready, because a lot of the kids here in the States, they play all year round and they don't stop playing. It's almost a little too much sometimes, in my opinion, but they're playing all the time, all year round. And I think if it's the off season is where it's going to make a difference for a lot of players. And like I said, when you get here, put yourself out there. You have nothing to lose, right? You're getting here. You're a student athlete. You're part of something really cool. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Personally, professionally, don't be afraid to get yourself ready. It's going to be tough mentally. It's going to be hard. But I think that if you stick to the course and you stick to what the end game is and what you really want, if you sit down and you're honest with yourself at the end of the day and really find out what you want, I think you'll be completely way ahead of a lot of people psychologically, because you have an end goal in mind. So, the off season is something that really is important physically, but I think mentally really preparing yourself to know that this is something you're going to have to work for. It's not just going to drop in your lap and it's just going to be one of those things. It's competitive. And no matter where you go, it's competitive. At any stage of the game, it's going to be competitive.
Can you share with us also, Coach Jan, some of the kids are trying to get information too about NAIA schools.
Yeah.
The difference between the junior colleges, the NAIA schools. If you could share some information with them so they could be, have a better understanding of it.
Well, the NAIA is actually really starting to develop quite well. There's a lot more programs that are being developed for the NAIA, and the NAIA also gives out scholarships. So there is money to be made with the NAIA. I know the NCAA only has a certain amount of scholarships available, like for each division, where Division 1 is 14 scholarships. I think Division 2 is 8 scholarships. And Division 3, they don't give out any scholarships, they give out grants. But the NAIA actually has a lot of funding and a lot of money Sorry, I'm letting my dogs in. They were
Ah,
scratching at
it's
the door.
okay. Don't worry
I
about it. Keep going,
apologize.
Coach Jen.
They keep scratching. So so
Keep going,
they
Coach Jen.
so NAIA schools really do have a lot of money to give, which is really, really nice. And there's a lot of really good NAIA programs. So how it works is it's Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. That's the NCAA. And then NAIA is also Division 1, 2, and 3. They have a separate conference, if you will. Then there's also a Christian conference, I think the NCCAA. I think it's the National Christian Collegiate. And
Yes.
then there also is the National Junior College. So it kind of goes in tiers: National Junior College, NAIA, and then it goes NCAA. But honestly, like I said, it depends upon the program. It does not have anything to do with the division or the conference. It depends upon what the program is about and how the program is built. If it's successful, if it's a positive place to go, if it's somewhere where kids look back and say, you know what, this was a really good experience. So I think doing your homework and doing your research is crucial.
Coach Jen, we have a question here where someone is asking, can one still qualify for a scholarship at a 4-year school after completing studies at a junior college, which means you get a 2-year scholarship after you go.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because like I said, every year college coaches have 18 scholarships to give. So some will do partial and some will do full scholarships. Most schools, if it's a Division 1 school, they will do they'll do a full scholarship for 14 of the players. And Division 2 usually tries to break it up into pieces. So it'll be like, for example, for me, when I went to school, I had a half a scholarship at East Stroudsburg. So I paid for 2 years and then I had my 2 years funded. So I have kids that have left junior college who didn't really pay a lot for junior college. And then they got recruited to play at a 4-year school. Perfect example. I have a girl playing at TCNJ and she got partial money to play at TCNJ for the next 2 years. So yes, there's scholarship money that is available and it gets reevaluated every single season. So if you don't, you can ask for more money as you go on.